If you're 5 to 10 years from retiring from the state of Florida, these 7 mistakes can cost you tens of thousands of dollars. So let's keep that from happening. Hi, I'm April Schoen, and I help Florida System retirement members build clear, practical retirement plans so that the choices that you make now are going to line up with the way that you want to live your life later. And today, I'm going to cover 7 mistakes that I see most often and what to do instead. Here's the plan. I'm going to walk through each mistake, I'm going to give you the fix, and at the end, I'm going to show you how you can download my complimentary FRS Retirement Checklist so you can put each of these steps into action step by step. The number one mistake I see is choosing a pension option in a vacuum, like defaulting to the highest monthly amount or just automatically picking that joint and survivor option without testing it against your real lifestyle. The fix is to start with your spending picture. What are your must-have expenses? What are your nice-to-haves? What does your spouse need upon your passing? And then you want to model each of these pension options against that plan. So you can ask yourself, which option supports your day-to-day living and protects your spouse if and when something happens to you? Because when you match the pension choice to the way that you actually live, now the numbers all have context and you can make a decision confidently. Mistake number 2 is mismanaging your drop. So that could be the timing of when you go into drop, when you leave drop. It could be taking that payout as cash, as income, which is going to trigger a tax hit, or it could be rolling it over without a purpose. And the fix is to decide the purpose first, right? Is this money going to be for near-term income? Is it for liquidity? Is it for long-term growth? Because if it's for income, then you want to pair that with a distribution plan that's going to reduce those sequence of returns risks that you're going to face in that first 5 to 10 years of retirement. And then if it's for liquidity, then you want to define how much needs to be accessible and why. And you really want to have purpose over paperwork. Mistake number 3 is assuming that taxes are going to automatically drop when you're in retirement. Because when I work with FRS clients, that's not what I see. Because by the time you've got Social Security, your pension, required minimum distributions that come on top of that, then your income can be the same or even higher in retirement. So the fix is to start building taxable and tax-favored assets, not just pre-tax, because this is going to give you more control later. Some things to consider would be Roth conversions when you're in lower income years, before your required minimum distributions start. You want to map out your tax brackets. You want to make sure you understand how Social Security and your pension is going to all come together to impact your taxes. Mistake number 4 is overlooking healthcare. As an FRS retiree, you may have access to the state of Florida's retiree health insurance, or you can also look at private insurance. But here's a key point. If you drop the state of Florida retiree coverage, you can't get back in. So before you make that decision, make sure it's going to be the right one for you and for your family. And so the fix is to create a bridge, especially if you're retiring before age 65. So you want to compare that state of Florida retiree plan to private options before you make the change. You also want to make sure that you put your Medicare enrollment dates on the calendar so you know exactly when you need to enroll, and you can start looking into what are those Medicare premiums going to be. Are you going to have any IRMA surcharges? Because healthcare isn't a footnote, it should clearly be a core budget item for your retirement income plan. Mistake number 5 is taking Social Security just because you can. And it may not be the most optimal time for you to take your benefit or your spouse's benefit. So the fix is to test multiple claiming ages. Look at 62, your full retirement, age 70. Coordinate that with your pension options, your tax plan, right? So that way you can pick the right answer, the one that's going to support your income, your spouse's income across both of your lifetimes. Mistake number 6 is not having a liquid bucket, especially in those first few years of retirement. So if the market dips and you're forced to sell some of your long-term assets for income, now you've locked in those losses, right? So that's what we call a sequence of return risk. So the fix is to set aside 2 to 3 years of expected withdrawals in more liquid holdings. That way it's not all subject to market volatility, and then you can refill those buckets when the market's up. This is going to give your growth assets time to recover, and it's going to make that paycheck, your income in retirement, feel more steady. Mistake number 7 is having every dollar in pre-tax accounts, because that means in retirement, every withdrawal shows up as ordinary income, leaving you very little control over your taxes year over year. So the fix is to start intentionally creating taxable and tax-free sleeves in your overall plan. This variety is going to let you dial your taxable income up and down so you can manage those brackets more thoughtfully as you create your actual spending plan in retirement. So as a quick recap, 7 things you want to look out for. 1, you want to match your pension to your lifestyle. 2, you want to set your drop with purpose before payout decisions. 3, you want to start early on those taxable and tax-favored assets. 4, you want to plan for taxes. Don't assume that they just drop. 5, you want to compare that state of Florida retiree health insurance plan with private insurance, and you also want to make sure that you're timing Medicare appropriately. You want to coordinate Social Security with your spouse, with your pension, with your other assets. You want to build a liquid bucket for early cash flow in retirement. And then you also want to create some tax diversification so you've got more flexibility and control over your income and your taxes. I recently worked with a couple that are retiring from the state of Florida, and they were leaning towards both taking that highest pension check, which is option 1, and they also planned to cash out their drop just so that they could have it on hand. Well, when we modeled their lifestyle and their survivor needs, we found that a different pension option made more sense for them. We also redirected their drop into a rollover that aligned with their first 10 years of income needs. And then we also built a 2-year liquidity bucket, right? So this is now going to create some more planning for them. So the result was they had steadier income in retirement, and they also had more control over their taxes without guessing. If you want a straightforward way to do this for your situation, I put everything into a 1-page FRS Retirement Checklist. Download the FRS Retirement Checklist at no cost to you by using the link below. It walks you through the exact steps that I covered: pension decisions, drop strategies, taxes, healthcare, Social Security, liquid buckets, so you can see where you're solid and then what you need to focus on next. I'm April Schoen, a retirement income certified professional who's been working with clients for over 15 years, helping them not just get to retirement, but through retirement. Thanks for watching today. Just so you know, this video is for general education. It's not providing any individual advice. I recommend that you talk with a qualified professional about your specific situation. See you on the next one. Bye now.